All right, so let's talk about this KORS trade yesterday from the short side. A couple of you actually asked me ways that I attacked it, ways that we could attack it. And I got a couple of emails about it yesterday as well. Before the open, I tweeted that KORS was below its 200-day moving average and was something we were going to be looking on the short side. Also, before the open yesterday, there were 3 pieces of interesting news, new news, things that hit the marketplace before the open. Citigroup downgraded, lowered its price target on KORS. Barclays did a very innovative search analysis for KORS year over year. They discovered that KORS search terms were lowering, decreasing for the past 5 weeks, year over year. And Piper came out with some comments that talked about a little bit more bearishness in sales for KORS. Now, KORS is a growth stock. We've talked about this a lot in the past. Growth stocks, even if they go from a growth stock to very strong stock, will get hit a lot. Will get hit pretty hard. So we have those 3 pieces of information that are out. We have the fact that technically it's below an important technical support level and it's in play. So the question then is, well, how do you trade it? And there certainly was a good opportunity on the short side. So let's talk about that. So the first opportunity we had right on the open was to take a little bit of a chance at around this 83 area pre-market and see where, pick a price where we could enter pre-market and still control our risk. And so around this 83 area, we had an opportunity, even though the stock had sold off pre-market a little bit, there was an opportunity to hit it, cover it above 83.50 and play for an opening drive. Right, so opening drive play from pre-market levels-ish was our first opportunity. Let's say you missed that. Let's say you missed all of that. I hope you didn't. I did. I actually was in that opening drive play to the downside. That was our first setup. And we talk about trading as chunking data, finding setups, trading setups. Not, I think KORS is going to go down, so I'm short. Not, I think KORS is going to bounce, so I'm long. We think of it as trades, setups where we have a slight edge time and time again. All right, make sense? So that first opportunity was an opening drive play to the downside. Okay, it pulled into about 80. The opening drive play, I took that off. The reason was it just got too steep. So one of the ways that I take off an opening drive play is it gets too steep, and I feel like my risk reward now, since it's now too steep to the downside, isn't very good. All right, so that opening drive play is done. And then it formed a range. And you can see from the chart yesterday, it formed a range between 80.50 and about 81.40. And so that's good. The stock's still in play. We're watching that range form. We want to see where VWAP is in relation to this range. All right, we want to see what the tape looks like at the top of the range, the bottom of the range. We want to take into account how the market is overall. But we've got this nice range developing, and then from that, we want to see consolidation areas form and trade off of those consolidation areas. Okay, so what did I do in the particular stock, or how can you attack it is probably a better way to look at it. So when I saw that range form, 81.50 and 80.50, what do you think I did? It's still acting weak. I mean, I don't think we necessarily saw the bottom at 80. I didn't see a capitulation move to the downside, high volume indicating a bottom. 80 isn't a longer term technical support area. So what do you think we do? Yep.
Look at size.
Yeah, so we start to think about where we can continue this short, put on a new short, perhaps a swing intraday short into the close. And so we've got that resistance at that 81.40. And so into that is an area to start your short. So I shorted a little bit at 25 cents, 81.25, and a little bit at $81 flat, and I ended up getting stopped out of that. It went above that 81.40, and it went up to about 81.50, and then there was a really, for me, there was a lot of volume, I thought, right at that price. It got above the top of this range, this 81.40-ish area, and you could sort of see there was a moment in time. Like it should have really went up there pretty hard, or it was going to be a failed breakout. And I remember saying on the desk, like, this is the moment. I wonder if this is the moment right now where we just put our shorts on, cover it above 61 cents, and see if it'll go find the low of the day. And so it got above there. It didn't really explode above the top of the range. There was a lot of volume there, and that 81.50-ish area held. It went right back down to the bottom of the range. What should that mean to you? So it had a failed breakout above that 40 cents. Didn't really go up much. And it goes all the way back down to the bottom of the range. When it goes all the way back down to the bottom of the range, what should you be thinking? Yeah?
If it breaks the range, I'm going to add more sales.
Yeah, I mean, one, you should say, it didn't really, that was a failed breakout of the range. And number two, the short idea is still on. It's still on. All right, we tried once, didn't work. We got stopped out. Or I did at least, okay? I got stopped out, okay? But I'm thinking, if it pops back up to 81, and then 81.25, I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to set my stops where? Above the top of that wick, right? So it went 50-ish, so I'm going to set my stops at 61 cents. I'm going to put it just a little bit above that wick, and then just a little bit above that. 60 cents can be a little bit of an area, 50 cents can be an area, sort of every 10 cents. I put it just above, it was like 53, 54-ish. I'm going to put it just above 60 cents, so 61-ish. So I can, as it goes into 80.50 again, and then pops right back up to 81, 81.25, 81.35, I can start to piece into a short against 81.61. All right, and I'm swing trading this. Then, okay, so I do that. It actually went up, and I start to put on some size. I can't put on huge size with this trade because it's really just trading in a range. It's really just trying to piece into tier one. All right, tier one would be generally 1,000 shares. I'm just piecing into tier one. But then, all right, as the stock starts to consolidate lower and lower and lower and closer and closer and closer to the bottom of the range, what am I thinking? Yeah, I'm thinking how to add. I'm starting to think how to add. All right, so what I did was I added when it got below 80.50. I put a little bit more size on. Now 80 was sort of the bottom of the opening drive move, right? When it gets below 80, what do you want to do? Add again. All right, so you can go from tier one to tier three by using tier one into the top of the range, into the range. Tier two below the bottom of the range, and tier three below the bottom that we saw right on the open. Okay, and then it sort of went down to, it was very close towards the end of the day when it got down to about 79, and you can take some off there, probably keep holding, and then at the end of the day, the covers are probably around 79.30-ish. That's probably where you're going to end up covering. Okay? And then you have a decision where you're going to take it out or go home flat. That's up to you. But that's how I was thinking through that trade. That's how I responsibly get some size in the setup on the short side. And that's how I'm attacking potentially this trade. Okay, thanks a lot.